everyone, it's Robin, RS Island Crafts, and welcome to my studio. This is my Whip It Wednesday video where I'm showing you some of the creative goodness that I've been working on this week. It's February. Why should we not still be working on hearts? At least I'm still working on hearts. When I start working on a project and I have a lot of fun doing it, I make a ton. So this is one of the projects I worked on with my patrons. This time I have the rainbow hearts with the white background, and it has a noticeable stripe to it. So what I did is I just made sure when I sewed everything down, this time I wanted it to be all haphazard. So I went ahead and I just sewed them in all different directions. If there are two going the same way, great. And if they're not, then that's fine too. It's not going to matter too much because these aren't all being sewn into the same project. I've been wanting to make a couple of fun projects coming up in rainbow colors. So I have one that I'm working on now and one I'm going to be working on later. So let me show you what I've started with these. I wanted to make some fun project bags. So I took the heart, I added a white border on it because I didn't want the colors of the fabrics to touch anywhere on here. So if I were to put red, it would have went right up against this. And the heart wouldn't pop as much. So I really wanted that heart to be not center, because as you can see it's not centered perfectly, but I wanted it to be the obvious thing that you notice first. So what I did is I made 6 of these hearts, and I'm going to make 6 zipper pouches to match. They're going to be similar in size, but they're going to be different, and you'll really see the difference when I show you the next pouch. So I have just one fabric that I put all the way around. I cross-hatched the heart in the center just in white thread after adding, I think it's only about a 1.5 inch strip. And then I just did my quilt as you go method. I have the piece of batting underneath. So this one has the cross-hatch in white, and these are all the matchstick in red. For this one, I stuck with one fabric to frame it all the way around. And on the back, then we have all of that craziness. I tried to stick with reds, but there are, of course, going to be some reds with other colors in it. I tried to keep them just to highlight here or there. Not too many darks, not too many lights, not too many orange reds, things like that. This one is actually Christmas. But the way it's cut out, it has joy and love. It does have, oh, that's kindness. It's still, yep, kindness is always in season. So yes, this is Christmas. I got myself confused for a second. You know, it doesn't take much. But I thought since the words that were on it and the fact that it's red, it doesn't actually say Christmas on it, that it would be fine because you multiply the joys and the loves and the kindness and stuff like that. So I thought that worked really well. Tucked in a little bit of hearts here. I saved this fabric so I don't use it too much, but I like to tuck a little bit in now and then. I am okay so far. I did have a red zipper here. My red tassel was more of a pinky orangey red, so I just went with white to pop off, so I thought that was nice, and it works with the white of the heart. And for this one on the inside, I'm putting my little heart label on all of them. I did sew it down with red. The next one you'll see I sewed it down with orange. I think I'm just going to keep with that trend, even though it's a little bit wonky here and there because it can be hard to stitch on the labels like that, but it's fine. I have the seashell fabric in gray. So I thought these would be a nice project bag. You could put the knitting or the crochet in it. You could put cross stitch, embroidery, whatever you might want to put in it. You can keep a whole bunch of paperwork in it, or you can use it for some type of a purse. It can get tucked into a tote bag. It is just the cotton batting and all the cotton fabric. I did not use any interfacing and stabilizers or anything like that because I wanted it to be very squishy. This one has a 2-inch gusset, so I took 1 inch out of each corner. So it has that down there to help it stand up just a little bit. Now for these, I did not sew the lining in like I normally do with a tote bag, but there is another trick that I might go ahead and try for these. I'll see how I feel as I keep working on them. I can always come back. These will be going in the shop, but I want to make all of them so I can have a really fun picture for Etsy before I list them. They'll all be under one listing, and then you can choose which one you want. In the description box, they'll have all of the different sizes, and you purchase it based on color. So let me show you the next one. So we have the rainbow is Roy G. Biv. So there's red. So our next one needs to be orange. So there's my orange one. You can see it's much larger than the red. Well, it feels much larger. So the red one is, without flattening to get an exact measurement, it looks like it's 11.5 wide by 9.5 tall. And then the orange guy is about 12.25, 12.5, and height it's about 11.5. So if you have a larger hoop for your cross stitch or something, it would actually fit in a larger bag. So if you have a smaller hoop, a medium hoop, such like that. There are all new kinds of, well, they're old hoops that have been around for a while, but people are starting to use them newly now as different people find them from other countries and they come over here to the US and stuff. Anyway, I made this one. Again, I have the white fabric around it. This time I used 4 different oranges, and I put a darker one on the bottom because it's nice to have a dark fabric on the bottom, and I wanted something bright around there. I have an orange zipper. I purchased some really long zippers to make more of the flat cross-stitch project bags. Keep an eye out after the move. Sometime, I would say before the summer or during the summer, there's going to be a big Etsy update, and it's going to have a lot of new items in it. So I'll have new cross-stitch project bags in a variety of colors and stuff. So I purchased some rainbow zippers for them. So I cut a lot off the ends of these, but it's okay because it's orange. I had an orange tassel. So on the back of this one, I still have all the oranges, of course. I put a couple bright ones in, and some are a little yellow orange. And I wanted to use this one, but it was in my orange bin, and it reads orange until you put it next to stuff, and then it reads yellow, but when you put it in the yellow bin, it reads orange. So it's one of those weird ones that crosses over. So instead of having a big piece, I just stuck a little piece. So as in all the other videos, I have a video coming out that just walks through this one real quick. Not a tutorial, just kind of a hangout with me while I made some of this. And I stopped before I did the zipper pouch. I think I showed you mostly this bit here, just so you can get an idea, because in the last live stream, well, and earlier in January's live stream, we did the brown zipper pouch for Jody, and I did it a little bit differently. I didn't do all of the matchstick quilting, but this is my preferred method. As you can imagine, it would be a lot to put on a live stream, and it would just be the sewing machine running non-stop. I have several videos for this. Maybe I'll link one in the pinned comment. We never know. And then on the inside, I wanted an orange fabric. So this one actually says Harvest Moon, but it's orange, so I thought it would be okay. And I've second guessed myself a dozen times, but it's in there. This guy's nice and deep, plenty of room. You might be able to put, I don't know how big an iPad is, or you could put Kindles, or you could put your Bible in it. There's a lot of things you can really put in here. But I wanted something orangey, and I think after this I'm going to stop trying to put orange or yellow or the color to match inside. I'm just going to use whatever I have that's going to work. I'll try not to put a purple inside a red type situation, but maybe I'll have some more. I have more of the shells and the gray and stuff like that. I'm all out of whites. I might have, no, I have whites. I forgot that someone sent me some white fabric, so I do have white. It's packed away. Anyway, you don't need to hear all of that right now. But here's the orange one. I didn't put handles on any of these because I was thinking they're more of a stack them in a bin at home to keep your projects in, and a lot of times people prefer not to have a handle for those. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this earlier, but I plan on ordering a roll of batting when we get to Arizona, because I just go through batting so quickly that I'm constantly ordering it by the yard, or I get the queen size bed or a twin size bed, and I just run through it quick. When you're cutting pieces that are like 12 inches, 14 inches, 20 inches for tote bags, and you need 2 of them, it goes pretty quickly. Plus all the mini quilts I do. I cut enough to get me through the rest of the rainbow, so red, orange, Yellow, green, blue, and purple is what I'm doing. I have my yellow scraps here. So we'll see what I can get out of those without getting too far into. I'm not really sure why this guy's in here, but I like to stick with like yellow. And there's some golds and stuff in here, so we'll see how it works. And I think when we're talking rainbow and stuff, it's going to be fine. It's going to read as yellow. I will skip things like this because that has the extra colors in it, but I might have, nope, that one looks a little too much too. But sometimes there might be something with a little brown or a little white in there somewhere that I'll still go ahead and use. So we'll see how I get going. I do have some fat quarters that I can pull in. So I'm going to work on these as long as I can while I still have my machines out and they're not packed up. The other bags I'm going to be making will be smaller and they'll be for different uses. I wanted to make the project bags because the hearts start out at 6 inches and then I added the borders to them. So I knew it couldn't be in a little small zipper pouch unless I made smaller hearts. I'm already sewing with 1.5 inches, but I would not mind sewing with even an inch. And that would give me a really nice small heart, and I would just have to adjust for the stitch and flips. That might be a fun challenge to have. So they went from this to that. I love how the quilting can just change the way the colors look. It just makes it look more cohesive maybe. This still looks like each individual one, but this one almost blends them together in a different kind of way. So keep an eye out for these in the shop. Eventually, like I said, I'm going to get all of them done first, and then I'll put them in the shop, and you guys can grab them. We're not doing dibs on these right now. With the whole move, all the dibs and stuff is kind of thrown out the window because the shop is probably closed by the time you see this video. But once I have them all done, then you guys can go ahead and grab which ones you like. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. We're going to probably hold off on the scrappy word for right now. Leave anything nice you want in the comments, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.